Now listen, I ain't here to sugarcoat nothing for you today. I'm not your mama. I'm not your best friend. I'm that voice that's going to shake your comfort zone right to its knees. You want to level up. You want to elevate your life. Then let me tell you something. You're going to have to force yourself. That's right. Force. Ain't nobody coming to hand you greatness. Ain't nobody knocking on your door with success in a gift box and a bow on top. Comfort is one of the most deceptive traps life sets for us. It feels good, it feels safe, but it slowly robs us of our potential. People don't grow where they feel most at ease. That's just the hard truth. We grow when we're under pressure, when we're tested, when we're forced to think different, act different, and push ourselves beyond what we thought was possible. A comfort whispers, "You're doing enough," when deep down, you know you're capable of so much more. It's like quicksand. It holds you in place while time keeps moving. And if you stay there too long, life will pass you by. Look around. Every person who ever achieved greatness had to walk away from comfort. Whether it was leaving a job, letting go of toxic relationships, changing cities, or completely starting over, they made a decision to choose discomfort over mediocrity, because that's what growth demands. It demands pain, sacrifice, and a willingness to go places you've never been. Comfort keeps you in routines, but growth lives in challenges. You got to be willing to shake things up. You got to be willing to feel fear and move anyway. When you're chasing something big, something real, you will not find it sitting in the same chair, doing the same thing, hanging with the same people, and making the same choices. That routine you're clinging to, that's the fence around your potential. And every time you choose comfort, you reinforce that fence. You make it harder to break free, harder to think big, harder to believe that more is even possible. Eventually, you start shrinking your dreams to match your current life instead of leveling up your life to match your dreams. That's what comfort does. It convinces you that settling is smart, that safe is better, and that average is okay. But let me tell you something ain't inspiring about staying the same. Ain't nothing powerful about hiding from pressure. You were built to evolve, attempt. That's why it hurts when you're not growing. That's why you feel restless, unfulfilled, stuck. Thing to attempt is your soul telling you that you're too big for the life you're playing small in. But to honor that voice, you got to get uncomfortable. You got to stop negotiating with fear. You got to stop choosing easy. Easy is dangerous. Easy will keep you broken, and bitter. There will always be a reason to stay comfortable. The timing isn't right. You don't have enough money. You're not ready yet. That voice in your head will come up with 1,000 excuses. But every one of those excuses is just fear wearing a different outfit. Don't fall for it. Growth don't come wrapped in convenience. Growth shows up when you step into situations that stretch you, when you commit to doing what's hard over what's easy. That's where transformation lies. People ask all the time, how do I level up? The answer is simple: get uncomfortable on purpose. Wake up earlier than you want. Speak up when your voice shakes. Go to that gym when you're tired. Take that risk when you're scared. Invest in that dream when you don't have the guarantee. That's how you build resilience. That's how you train your mind to stop running back to what's safe and start chasing what's possible. And don't expect support. Don't expect applause. Don't expect people to understand you. Comfort is a crowd. Growth is lonely. But it's in that solitude where you find your edge. It's where you discover your limits and then learn to break past them. When you live in comfort, you follow the herd. When you choose growth, you separate yourself. Thing to attempt. You become uncommon. And that's where the real power is. Your future doesn't live in your comfort zone. It lives in that place you keep avoiding. That thing you're scared to face. That step you've been delaying. That dream you keep postponing. Your next level is buried under all of that. And the only way to get to it is to face it head on. Painful. Yes, uncertain. Always worth every single time. You got to stop worshiping comfort like it's success. They are not the same. Comfort will give you moments of peace, but growth gives you legacy. Comfort lets you sleep easier, but growth wakes up generations. Comfort is temporary. Growth is eternal. And the more you train yourself to chase growth over ease, the more powerful you become. Because eventually, what once scared you will become your new normal. What once felt like pressure will become your training ground. And then you'll realize it was never really about being comfortable. It was always about becoming capable. Discipline is not a suggestion. It's the foundation of leveling up. People talk about motivation like it's the fuel that keeps you going, but motivation is temporary. It comes and goes like the weather. Discipline, though, that's what shows up when motivation leaves. Thing to attempt. That's the difference between person who starts something and the person who finishes it. Discipline is what gets you out of bed when your body says sleep. It's what pushes you to keep going when your emotions say quit. Without discipline, dreams stay dreams. Without discipline, plans turn into regrets. Everyone wants the prize, but few want the process. That process requires repetition. It requires doing the same unglamorous task over and over again until you master it. Success is built in the shadows, in the unseen hours, and discipline is what keeps you grinding even when no one is watching. You can't wait until you feel like it, because there will be days when you don't. The strongest individuals aren't the ones with the most energy. They're the ones who train their mind to obey a higher standard. Discipline is a mindset attempt. It's a commitment to show up for yourself every single day, whether you feel like it or not. It's about telling yourself, this is who I am now, and acting in alignment with that identity regardless of your mood. People love to talk about goals, but discipline is what gives goals life. Your goals without discipline are just wishes. They sit in notebooks and vision boards collecting dust. Discipline brings them off the page and into reality. The truth is, most people don't fail because they're not talented. They fail because they're inconsistent. They show up strong for a week, maybe a month, and then disappear the moment life gets inconvenient. But the people who truly rise, they're not superhuman. They just made a decision that they're going to do what needs to be done no matter what. That's the line you have to draw in the sand if you want to level up. You can't be interested. You have to be committed. Being disciplined means doing things that make you uncomfortable. It means trading short pleasure for long-term growth. It means saying no to distractions, no to excuses, no to instant gratification. That's not easy, especially in a world that's constantly trying to pull your attention in 1,000 directions. But discipline is about making intentional choices. You either own your day or your day owns you. You either control your time or your time controls you. Discipline is the difference between movement and progress. When you start living with discipline, everything changes. Your energy shifts. Your confidence grows. You start to trust yourself more. And when you trust yourself, you become unstoppable. You no longer need validation. You no longer seek approval. You just show up and deliver because you know you're putting in the work. And that work compounds. Every rep in the gym, every early morning, every hour you invest in learning or building, that's compound interest. It might not show up today, but it's stacking, it's working, it's shaping your future. The thing about discipline is it's not something you're born with. It's something you build. You build it one choice at a time. You by doing what you said you would do, especially on the days when it's hard. It's about honoring your word to yourself. Most people are great at keeping promises to others, but break every single one they make to themselves. That's backwards. Your greatest loyalty should be to your own vision, your own mission. You can't expect to succeed if you keep bailing on yourself. And don't confuse discipline with perfection. You will slip. You will mess up. But discipline doesn't mean never falling. It means getting back up every single time. It means having the resilience to continue the work, to refocus, to recommit. That's how you win. That's how you break through the noise and rise above the average. The ones who separate themselves from the pack are not necessarily the most gifted. They're just the ones who refuse to let up. There's a certain power that comes with being disciplined. It gives you clarity, it gives you control, and it creates momentum. Once you start stacking wins, even small ones, they build confidence. And that confidence turns into belief. That belief turns into habits. And those habits, they create transformation. But it all starts with a decision to stop being reactive and start being intentional, to stop living off emotion and start living off commitment, to stop negotiating with laziness and start demanding excellence from yourself. Discipline isn't glamorous and it's not always fun, but it works. It builds character, it sharpens focus, and it separates talkers from doers. While the world is sleeping in, hitting snooze, and chasing comfort, the disciplined are rising early, grinding in silence, and building empires brick by brick. You won't feel ready. Do it anyway. That's the truth most people don't want to hear. We're conditioned to wait until the stars align, until the fear goes away, until everything feels just right. But the reality is that moment rarely comes. Readiness is a myth. It's an illusion your mind creates to keep you safe, to keep you stuck, to keep you in a place that feels familiar. But that familiar place, that's where dreams go to die. There will never be a perfect time to chase the thing that scares you. There will never be a perfect time to launch the business, to change careers, to cut off what's holding you back, to speak your truth. If you keep waiting for readiness, you'll wait forever. Because every major move in life, every breakthrough comes with doubt, fear, and uncertainty. Those things don't mean you're not ready. They mean you're human. They mean you're about to step into something that matters. The people you admire, the ones who look like they've got it all figured out, they weren't ready either. They just moved anyway. They acted with fear in their chest and courage in their step. That's what separates the successful from the stuck. Not confidence, not certainty, but action in spite of hesitation. That's how you build the life you want. Not by waiting for clarity, but by creating it through movement. When you move, the path reveals itself. When you step, the ground appears. But you got to be willing to take that step without a safety net. You got to stop overthinking, stop doubting, stop needing every answer before you make the leap. Clarity comes from action, not the other way around. You learn by doing. You grow by failing. You become stronger every time you face the thing that used to scare you and realize it didn't break you. So many people spend years preparing, but never producing. They collect information, listen to podcasts, read every book, but they never execute. Preparation is important, yes, but it's not a substitute for action. You don't be tempted. You don't be great by sitting on the sidelines mapping the perfect play. You become great by getting in the game, taking hits, learning fast, and adjusting on the fly. Doing it anyway builds muscle. It builds grit. It rewires your brain to act instead of freeze. You stop needing external permission because you've trained yourself to move. And the more you move, the more you realize fear is just noise. It's loud, but it's not real. It can't stop you unless you hand it the keys. The fear will always be there, but your choice to move anyway is what makes you powerful. Stop looking at fear as a sign to slow down. Start seeing it as a sign to go, because on the other side of fear is freedom. On the other side of doubt is discovery. On the other side of hesitation is your highest self. But you'll never get there if you keep convincing yourself that now isn't the time. You're not supposed to feel ready. You're supposed to feel the tension and act anyway. That's how you grow into the person who can handle what you're asking for. Your future doesn't need you to be fearless. It needs you to be relentless. It needs you to say yes before you have it all figured out. It needs you to trust that you'll rise to the occasion, because you will. You always have. Every time life tested you, every time you were forced into something hard, you adapted. You found a way. That's proof that you don't need to wait. You already have what it takes. You just need to back it up with action. Start before you're ready. Speak before you're polished. Leap before the net appears. The world belongs to the bold, not the smartest, not the most prepared, the bold. The ones who say, I don't know exactly how, but I'll figure it out. That mindset, that's what opens doors. That's what levels you up. And you don't have to take massive leaps every time. Even small steps count. Even scared steps count. What matters is momentum. Movement creates confidence. And confidence is earned by showing up in moments where quitting would have been easier. Every time you act in the face of fear, you're teaching yourself that you are capable, that you are resourceful, that you are the type of person who moves forward no matter what to attempt. There will never be a green light that says, now it's safe. You won't get a sign from the sky. You won't wake up one day with every piece of the puzzle laid out. You don't need the whole map. You just need the courage to take the first step. Trust the process. Trust your instincts. And trust that readiness isn't a requirement. It's a reward that shows up after you do the work.